Good morning. It is July 27th, 2024, where I currently am. And we are streaming today to Facebook, to YouTube, to Twitch, and now we've added in LinkedIn. So hooray, LinkedIn too. I am joined by a bunch of people here. Thank you for joining me. This is the Saturday service. I'm your host, Rabbi Brian. I'm an ordained rabbi. Look, I have books and I have certificates to prove it. I'm an ordained rabbi who thinks a little bit outside the box and really enjoys getting into conversation with people about spiritual religious topics. Today is no exception to that. I want to start with a quick announcement. We're starting a new policy. Let me put this up on the slide here.
Rules again?
Rules.
They are suggestions. And the suggestion is that we add in that if you find yourself saying something that you're not so... I just did this with Emily. I said something that was a little bit snarky before we started. And I said, oh, I'm going to own that. Oops, that was on me. That if you find something that was you said and you want to take it back, that we can add in an oops. And then if somebody says something that kind of hurts your feelings, just being able to say, ouch. I know it feels like it's such simple first grade kind of rules, but what a wonderful idea that we should be able to say oops and we should be able to say ouch if we have committed if we believe we've said something we ought not to have said, we can do an oops. And if we feel like somebody said something that was a little hurtful, saying ouch is a lot nicer and easier to tolerate than saying go fuck yourself, clown. So I think this is a nicer move. Let me show all my friends who are here. Hold on. I practiced this. There they are. Oh,
It's one of them.
Well, there's Emily.
She represents all of us.
It's whoever's on the screen, who's ever speaking seems to be showing up. I don't know how I screwed this one up. That's supposed to be everyone at once. And I don't have the ability to change that. So
And my picture is appearing with the name Rabbi Brian. Oh, there you are.
Well, okay. Just trust me. There are more people here than just Candace. There's Jeff. Okay. Technology being as it is. We have been discussing for the last few weeks, we've been discussing judgment and how to be a little less judgmental. And I have an idea. I'm going to wait for... Anyone have any idea what this note was supposed to mean? I have no idea. I wrote this down on my notes for today.
I don't know.
I have no idea. If it weren't in my handwriting, I would have thought somebody else wrote it. I don't know what that meant. So, and if you're thinking, oh, that's going to be a really clever rabbi trick where he's going to come back to that later with a moral to the story, you think way too highly of me.
The triangle you used to mean change.
Exactly. Thank you, Betsy. That's what I wanted to talk about. I have a book coming out.
No.
I have a book coming out, and some people have gotten some advanced copies and been able to read ahead of time. And I'm very excited. I'm so excited. The book is launching. It should be getting printed in August and should be in people's hands in September. And I could not be more excited about it. And I was thinking about this service, and I was thinking about people who have been coming to this service for such a long time, and that things are going to change. If things go the way that I hope they go, we're going to change, and we're going to have, right now we have 35 people, 30-ish people who are on screen right now. But we might get up to 150 people who are here. And the service will be a little bit different when that happens. And I just wanted to bring that out so we can start to prepare our heads that things might change. And here's a little lesson for you. I don't know whose quote this is, but there are two things that people dislike. The first is change, And the second is how things are. Thank you to whoever the one person was who laughed aloud on that. I thought it was a very good joke.
That
So-
was Joanne.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Glad to see all of you who are here. I want to tell you a little bit about my hope for today. My hope for today's service is that today's service. Hold on. Why is it not going to my small whiteboard? Hi, Jeff. I don't know why you're on my screen right now. There we
Nor
go.
do I.
Oh, no. Shit. With the technology, I just lost what the hell I was talking about. I remember. Okay, here it is. I shop sometimes on eBay. And on eBay, the buyers say, whatever you do, please contact us before you leave us any rating that's less than 5 stars, because we're trying for 5-star review. Please get in touch with us, and we will make anything right if there was a problem that's anything under 5 stars. And I thought about this. I thought about the 77% weekly, and I thought about what I do here. And I thought, 5 stars, that's 100% of the time. And I thought, I'm hoping to achieve 4 stars. If this service rates a 4-star, I've done it absolutely right. If it's 5 stars, I've worked too hard. I'm wondering how many of us could use a little bit more 4-star expectation in our lives.
Yeah.
I only have one person. Okay, Ann Mayer, who raised her hand. Congratulations. You are only at this. Everyone else is required to try for 5 stars all the time. Ann Mayer, who raised her hand, 4 stars. Now that you know what's at stake here, let me ask you again. How many of you wish that you could live your life at a 4-star and not need 5-star all the time? And I'm going to try to put all of your faces on the screen again. Come on.
Yeah, I can call them up.
There's just John and Joanne. John and Joanne on behalf of everyone. Oh, wait. There, Zoom meeting. There. I did it. Okay, yay me.
Yay.
How many of you, now let's do a show of hands. How many of you would like to have a 4-star rating and not require 5 stars? Wonderful. Now let me ask you a question. Keep your hand up. Keep your hand up.
Usually the option is
Those of you who are looking for life to be only 80%, I want you to think of an answer to this question that you'd be able to fill in this sentence with one answer. If you could do one thing to help you to bring yourself to a 4-star level rating, what's one thing you could do to keep yourself from having to achieve 5 stars? Can you answer that question with one sentence? One thing I could do to give myself a 4-star lifestyle is. What's
Forgive
one
myself.
thing you can do to give yourself a 4-star lifestyle? I want to wait one more second to give everyone a chance to lock an answer into their head. What's something you could do to give yourself a 4-star? And hi, Tal and Vanessa. I just saw you guys there. Hi, guys. What's one thing you could do to give yourself a 4-star lifestyle? I'll take a few answers. Raise your hand if you would, and I'll call on you. Go ahead, Shmuel.
Relax.
If you could relax a little more, you'd have a 4-star lifestyle. Let's hear from someone else. What could you do to give yourself a 4-star lifestyle? Yeah, Jack. And then Patricia.
To be less myself and be more selfless in my service.
Less myself and more selfless.
in my
Yes.
service.
I love that, Jack. I love that play on words. You have a great way with words. Patricia, one thing
does.
you could do to
It
give
really
yourself
does.
a 4-star lifestyle?
Stop procrastinating. Oh,
It's a good one.
I could imagine, I love that, Patricia, but I also could imagine for some people more procrastinating.
I spend more energy worrying about what I'm procrastinating about than if I just did it.
Yeah,
Really.
I like that. Let's take anyone else have another answer they want to add in? Yeah, go ahead, Derek.
Yes.
I already have a 4-star lifestyle.
Ooh.
Congratulations, Derek.
Thank you.
Stop voting.
I like to be a
rating
religious
myself?
organization. Go ahead, Aaron.
Stop rating myself.
Stop reading your stuff.
Rating myself. Rate.
Stop rating yourself. If you stop keeping score, it would give yourself an easier time.
Right.
I love that.
Amen.
Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, Emily.
To give myself and you.
To give yourself and you.
Yeah, all of the yous.
I don't understand.
Consistently forgive myself and forgive all the yous.
Oh, forgive yourself and forgive everybody else. If you could forgive yourself and forgive other people, you would have an 80% lifestyle. I like that.
I'm working on that.
Okay. John, we got to keep muting you because there's extra noise coming from you today. So please unmute when you have something, or Joanne, please unmute when you have something you want to add. There's extra noise going on. I think it could be my jealousy over your brisket. Anyone else on a 4-star lifestyle? We got some people in the chat. Thank you, Chad and Lisa. 4-star lifestyle. Stop editing yourself. Just being yourself as you are. Okay, I'm going to move on to our next thought. There we go. Last week we talked about judgment, and we talked about how judgment happens. I have my little stick figures to remind us. We talked last week about how we notice something, we observe something, and then after that we judge something. And that they usually come in this order. They always come in this order. You can't judge something unless you observe it. And we talked about adding a little bit more space between the two. Adding a little bit more space between the two. And I spoke with somebody, and I'm going to leave that an anonymous, but I spoke with somebody last week who said, "Oh my goodness gracious, I did it. I noticed," here's my notice one. "I noticed something that my partner was doing, and it was really annoying me. And I was about to yell at them, and I thought, oh my goodness, there's a space. I can choose to yell at them or not." And then the person tells me, "And I made the choice to yell at them, and I really let them have it." And I thought, it doesn't matter what I thought. What I said was, "That's just wonderful." I said, "That's wonderful." And they said, "Isn't it wonderful?" Because what I realized was that I have a choice. Whether or not that person made the choice that you would have made is not the point. The point is, for a point in their life, they realize that they have a choice. And I give them an A+ for having chosen. Is it the choice I thought they might not have made? Sure, I have a judgment about that. But they made a choice. They made a choice. Hold on, I lost my train of thought for a second, so I gotta... I don't know that this is possible for... hold on. Let me restate that. Between their observation and their judgment, they found that there was a space, and I gave them an A+. Because as an educator and as somebody who wants to encourage growth, I give an A+ to anybody who's going even 5% in a positive direction. And if they go even 5% in the positive direction, I want to give them full points. And I was chatting a little bit with Maria. Thank you, Maria. I was chatting a little bit with Maria, and there are some of us who are overachievers who think, you can't give an A+ to somebody who only gets 5% right. And I realized that it might upset overachievers who think that you have to get everything right in order to get an A+. But let's go back to our 80% grading policy. At what percent, as so long as somebody's moving in the positive direction, oughtn't we be encouraging of them? Ought we not say that's wonderful and give them praise and curb ourselves from saying, well, you missed fucking 95% of the assignment? I wonder what it would be like if we encouraged people in every part where we can and we didn't, and we shut up about the rest. And also, I'm thinking,
give them a lot of A pluses.
I'm giving anyone who shows up who wants an A+, an A+. As long as you're moving in a positive direction. Thank you, Jeff, for helping me to elaborate on what I'm saying. Dale Carnegie talks about being lavish in your praise and hearty in your approbation. If I want to encourage people to add space between observation and judgment, if I want to encourage people, how am I going to be encouraging people if I tell them they did it wrong? And then I want you to think about what's going on inside your own head. How often do you tell yourself, I can tell you I do it all the time to myself. How often do I tell myself, you're not doing it right. You don't get credit. I see a bunch of heads starting to nod. You understand what I'm saying here? A goal is for us to get that negative internalized voice and to not be so upset by it. Okay, and Maria, you're absolutely right. Thank you for posting it. I didn't really say that the 5% people didn't get an A+. No, that's true. I was having the conversation with you, Maria, and that's where the thought went to. It was not Maria. That was me.
It was Maria.
Maria? This is Maria.
I'm here.
Hi, Maria. Thank you, Maria. Okay. So while my grading policy might not feel good to overachievers, I think just it being encouraging is our goal. I want to bring us one more thought, and then we'll open up for some discussion. I have a way of keeping people from being annoying. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Would you like to hear how to keep people from being annoying? Here's how it goes. We start with the quote. Remember the quote about the spoon and the plate of spaghetti? Irving Becker quote? It was 2 weeks ago, and then we repeated it again last week, I think. Irving Becker's quote, does anyone have it at their hands? I'll say it otherwise. Let me say it. Irving Becker's quote says this. If you dislike somebody, the way they hold their spoon will offend you, but if you like them, they could drop a plate of food in your lap and you wouldn't mind. If you dislike someone, the way they hold their spoon will offend you. Their haircut's going to be stupid. Their bag is going to be ugly. If you dislike someone, everything about them is going to be annoying. But if you like them, they could drop a plate of food in your lap and you wouldn't mind. So starting with that idea. Here's how to not be annoyed by annoying people. You ready? Oh, your knee-jerk reaction is going to say, I don't want to do this. Let me just address that straight up. How to keep people from being annoying. Is Marilyn here today at this point?
No.
Marilyn was with us on Tuesday, and it was a great example of this. If you think that the next time Marilyn opens her mouth, if you think what she says is going to be annoying guess what?
It will be.
It will be. But if on the other hand, you think the next time Marilyn opens her mouth, I'm going to get 5% closer to enlightenment based on what Marilyn says. If you can change your view, and Marilyn, I apologize for picking on you. You're not here, but it was on Tuesday when we had this discussion. It was right there. Oh, also everyone else is invited on Tuesdays. It's a small group and we work out some of the material that I do now. And I know some of you might think we should work out harder. But trust me, there are things on Tuesdays that flop worse than there. Anyway, if you think the next thing Marilyn says is going to be wonderful and human and help me with my life, what are the chances that what she says is going to be wonderful? It's a hell of a lot higher than if you think the next thing she says is going to be annoying. So how can we can use, I got 3 letters for you. Oopsie. Hi, Jeff, you're on my screen. There you go. I have 3 letters to share. I learned these from Larry. Larry said this, that love is about unconditional positive regard. The way I remember those letters is I remember it as the word upper. UPR. Unconditional positive regard. If you have unconditional positive regard for the people in your life, are they going to be more spoons or are they going to be more pots of spaghetti in your lap? If you have unconditional positive regard for someone,
More spaghetti.
are they going to be more spoons or are they going to be more spaghetti?
Get it.
Sketty? Did someone say sketty?
Scary.
Let's all say sketty together. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Scary.
Getty.
Sketty. If you have
So we're all 6
unconditional,
years old.
if you have unconditional positive regard for as many people as you can in a day, you're going to have a much more sketty-filled life. All right, let me open this up for comments, questions, thoughts. The topic is that our mindset set to unconditional positive regard will lead to more sketty. Not really sure how to spell sketty. But you know what? As so long as you have positive regard for me, it really doesn't matter how I spell sketty.
Right.
I see a really fun one. S''Ghetti.
If you have predetermined that Betsy is annoying with her grammar and spelling, then when she corrects how to spell sketty, it's going to annoy you. On the other hand, if you have trained yourself that Betsy, like everyone else, deserves positive regard, then when I think she's right. When she spells sketty the way that you don't spell sketty, you're going to have a skettier time. Y'all understand what I'm talking about here is a change in mental space.
Right.
I'd love to hear from some people to reiterate what I'm talking about here in your own words. Go ahead, Joanne. You're on mute, though. There we go.
No,
Okay, so when you've got more sketty in your lap, that's more messiness in your life, which we tend to think of as a negative thing. But I think that you have to change your way of thinking and embrace the messiness.
Yes,
To have
yes.
unconditional positive regard for another is to embrace your messiness and their messiness.
let's all have sketty. Absolutely.
You can,
Yeah, Harold or Connie.
We have a brother-in-law that is annoying to the nth degree. And what I hear you saying is, I don't look for a plate of spaghetti. I look for a different kind of a spoon. And if I can see some kind of a spoon, it doesn't have to be my teaspoon. It could be his teaspoon. If I can find some kind of a spoon, then I don't have to mess with the spaghetti plate. And I think that's the mindset that we're going to have to take is there's something there about him that's okay.
Yes.
It's just
Yes. If we've decided that the person is annoying, and we talked to, remember we did annoyance bingo, there's a way, but we can change the way that we deal with them if we change their spoon. Boy, I don't like the way that I just, like, forget what, let's stick with what Harold said, not my recap of what Harold said. Anyone else? Yeah,
Okay.
Carol, and then John or Joan.
It seems to me that what I don't see here is judgment. And yet, when I'm listening to political speakers, I don't want to not have anything but openness, not positive regard or negative regard. And I do know that when I hear certain things, they sound dangerous.
Yes.
And it's time to not simply have positive regard for someone who is saying, I want to get rid of half of the population.
Correct. Thank you, Carol. A spiritual religious life still has a hierarchy of values. I'm not telling you can love your enemies while still disagreeing with them and still taking action against them. We're not saying to, thank you, Carol, for bringing that up. We're not saying to sit and be a doormat or even more than that, put out a welcome sign for somebody who's intent on hurting you. Thank you, Carol.
Amen.
There was another, yeah, John or Joni and then Betsy.
Unmute. No, there. I found myself thinking as we were going through it that it would be interesting to have in a pocket or wherever a number of paper cutouts of spoons. And whenever you hear somebody, reach for a spoon and so you catch yourself in that moment.
I love that.
And then piggybacking with another comment that was made, I need more than a few spoons. I need also some spoons of different sizes. Like I need a shovel and a ladle and a teaspoon and a fraction of a teaspoon.
Thank you, John. I love this concrete idea. So let me give you here's an old a tip that I used to recommend to people. Hey, question. How many times a day do you get annoyed? Don't answer because you don't know. You probably don't know how many times a day you get annoyed. So what I recommend you do is you bring, and this is a corollary to John's spoons, is you take a piece of paper and you write annoyed on it. And then during the day, every time you get annoyed, you put a hatch mark on that paper. And the next time you get annoyed, you put a hatch mark. You're not writing down what annoyed you. You're just putting a hatch mark on that paper. And here's why we're going to do this, is we're going to find out that instead of getting annoyed and then adding fuel to why we're annoyed, instead we're short-circuiting. This is cognitive behavioral theory, right? We're short-circuiting it so that when we get annoyed, we go, oh, where's my paper? Let me add in another annoyance stripe. So that instead of getting more annoyed about being annoyed, and then at the end of the day, you total up how many times you were annoyed. And for the week, you get an average and you say, oh my goodness, I tend to get annoyed 10 times a day. What do you think would happen if you knew that you get annoyed 10 times a day? If you knew that the number was 10 times a day, what do you think would happen?
Try to lower it.
You notice it and you try to lower it. And then when you get annoyed 7 times in a day instead of 10, you go, oh my goodness, what a great day. Or you get annoyed 17 times in that day, you say, yeah, today was really shit. But you have something that will distract you from taking, I think of anger and annoyance as a train. And then once it leaves the station, it's left the station. This will help us to derail the train.
Yeah. Then you get an A+ for that.
Yeah, and then you get an A+ for that. If you get 80% right, you get an A+. And if you have 5%, this is my new rule. If you have if you go 5% in a positive direction, you get an A+. That's pretty liberal.
Yeah, it's very liberal.
Yeah. Okay. For you, Lynn, does everyone 5%. If you're going 5% in a positive direction, why not get an A+? Why do you have to kick your ass that it wasn't 7%, that it wasn't 10%?
We sometimes forget that in any given day, we may be doing the best we can do at that day. And you don't always have to be kicking your ass down the street all the time.
Thank you, Ray. Exactly that. You don't need to get 5 stars. You're okay with 4. Any last questions or comments or thoughts on this? Yes, go ahead, Betsy.
Okay, yes, I just wanted to share something that I saw on OPB last night, PBS, for those not in Oregon. They had this show, and I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was that they took like maybe 15 people each of the red and the blue persuasion, and they had them in various, I guess you might call it therapeutic kind of things. They asked them key questions and had them discuss and so on. And over the course of, they were kind of together for, I'm not sure how long it was, a week or so, but little by little, they discovered each other's humanity, and their enmity got much lessened, and they actually were able to, in some cases, hug each other and so on. And it was very, very
it's affirming.
Enlightening.
Yeah.
It's very affirming about how it's possible to discover all the things that people have in common.
Yeah. I'm going to sound like a spiritual woo-woo guru type with what I'm about to say. Can you find unconditional positive regard? Can you find this positive regard for yourself, for your internalized voice? Can you take the negative internalized voice in your head and treat it as though it's not your enemy holding a fork or a spoon incorrectly, but you look at that negative internalized voice, this is really hard to do, as though it's a sketty. Very difficult. Okay. Linny, go ahead, and then we'll wrap this topic up.
Okay, first of all, I love the idea of like 5.5% moving forward, giving them an A+, because they're at yourself, because you're it's what, like you said, you're on the right track. You're going forward, and what you said about the negative voice, I find if you can laugh at yourself, if you can look what you did and say, oh, I did it again. I didn't get everything ready, like my glasses, my keys, my phone, to leave in a timely manner, and just be able to, and the separation comes in there. Just separate for a little bit, and then love yourself and laugh at yourself and try and do better next time. You know,
Amen.
try and get everything together for what you need. Iron your blouse, curl your, I mean, if you are curling your hair, you know, get everything ready in a timely manner, but to forgive yourself fast. Forgive yourself as fast as you can and laugh at yourself and not harbor that resentment. Oh my God, I will never learn. You know,
Right.
let that go.
Right. Right. That voice that we don't need to kick our own ass.
Yeah, we have other people to do that for us.
We do. And if anyone needs any help getting their ass kicked, I'm sure we could come up with a volunteer squad who will kick your ass for you. Anyone want in on that? Anyone want in on the let's kick somebody else's ass squad? No. Anybody need help kicking their own ass? Anybody need that squad? All right, we don't need the squad apparently. Good. Wonderful. I just saw in the comments there was an idea. Maria, thank you for reminding me about this. There's an idea that, hey, I pick the topics based on what I'm talking to people about. If there's a topic in particular that you would like us to explore as a group, would you shoot me an email and let me know that? Thanks. Because I don't know what it is that you think we should be talking about. I'm just talking about the parts of life that I think I'm thinking about and I'm struggling hard on. Okay. Good job, team. Everyone do the following. Breathe. Oh, some of you are way ahead of me. You've been breathing for hours now. That's great. Keep that up.
We get an A.
You get an A.
A plus.
A plus.
A plus. Do you think it would keep people from being motivated if they knew at the beginning that they're getting an A? I did that with my AP calculus class. AP calculus class, I said to them the first day, you're all getting an A. You're getting an A. I'll still grade your papers. I'll still tell you, we'll do it. I'll tell you which ones you got wrong, what % you got wrong. But at the end of this class, you're getting an A. You know what happened.
They got A's.
I got fired. No. You know exactly what happened. What happened to the motivation of my students?
It went up.
It went up. They were doing it because they wanted to do it. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my idea. There's an educator named Alfie Cohen who came up with this crazy idea. That all being said, hey, time to play gratitude. We're going to do it this way today. We haven't done this one for a while. Open up your mobile, whatever you use for messaging or email. Some of you are ahead of me. You know what we're about to do. Take out your phone. Scroll down. Scroll down to somebody who you haven't messaged in a long time. There. Last time I messaged Rabbi Phil was June 23rd. So whoever it is, just scroll down, pick somebody and say, hey, I was thinking, you write your own words, but I'm telling you what I'm writing on mine. I was thinking of you, sending you love, glad you are in my life. That's what I wrote. Write a little bit of gratitude to someone. Take a moment of gratitude. If you don't want to do the random thing and you want to send a specific person gratitude, do that. That's fine too. Anyone think you can do gratitude wrong? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was really sure somebody was going to object.
Yeah.
Is there no way to do gratitude wrong? Really?
Depends on how much spaghetti you dump in their lap.
Thanks for the extra sketty, Jeff. You might have noticed, and chances are you have, especially we've done this before, you might have noticed as you write a thank you to somebody, you feel better. That you feel a little taste of joy. Because Rabbi Phil's going to open his email. Well, it's Saturday. He's not going to open his email until the sun sets tonight. I know him. But he's going to see that text from me later tonight after the sun sets. And it will make him happy. I'm a big fan. I'm getting to be a spokesperson for not random love, but for Jesus said it. I think it's in the Gospel of Matthew. He said, "There's no merit to be gotten from loving the people we love. Even our enemies do that. But to love our enemies, that's something harder. That to love the people you already love, that's easy. But to send gratitude and love to random people, that's a little bit harder." Everyone done with your little gratitude? I don't like the way that sounded. You done with your little gratitude piece? Have everyone sent something? We're going to do a new version of gratitude today. It's going to go like this. Pick a person on the screen that you can say something of gratitude to. Something you're thankful for in a person who's on the screen. Shmuley, you volunteering? I saw your hand almost go up. Is there someone on the screen, Shmuels, who you can say, Carolyn, I really like you. I just needed you to know that. Shmuley, you go ahead. Carolyn, that's for you from me. That one's free.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Shmuley, go ahead. Let's see who pick somebody.
I'm going to pick Bob, and I really thank my higher power for his words of wisdom and his caring, which shows in every meeting.
Thank you, Shmuley. And let's have if you agree with it, let's do an amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Wonderful manners, Bob. He said, I thank you. Beautiful. Someone else. What do we got? Gratitude moment. Go ahead, Lenny.
I have gratitude for Maria because she has the perfect voice for love and light. Her voice is love and light. And she's beautiful and she radiates love. And her voice is a prayer for all she speaks of.
Amen.
And amen.
Amen. Thank
you.
Amen.
Amen.
And then sometimes it's hard to take in a compliment. Emily, you taught me this one. Can you teach everyone the little thing you've taught about how to take in a compliment?
Yes. When you get a compliment, when you get a positive, swallow.
That's
Swallow.
Just to take in, swallow in that compliment. Ann Mayer, go ahead.
I'm really grateful for Lynn and her sweet, positive energy and her laughter and humor.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Amen.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Lynn. Let's have an amen.
Amen.
Harold, Connie, and then Ron, and then we're going to move along.
It's me, and I'm grateful for Carol. She has showed me so much of how much she knows about life, and the things that she says is important because yes, we are in a time of confusion. So I'm very grateful for her.
Amen. I echo that.
Amen.
Thank you. Ron?
Amen.
I'm really grateful for Jeff because he always makes me smile.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much,
Amen.
Ron.
Yeah, he does.
Good. Unconditional positive regard. Can you imagine if we had unconditional positive regard for everybody on the screen? And if we had unconditional positive regard, you know that person who you're really worried about interacting with later today? Can you find some unconditional positive regard for them as well? Wonderful, wonderful. Maria, I have a feeling you have a list of people we want to say some prayers for today.
I do. These are the people to whom we are sending light and love. Joe and Ken, Lauren and Carolyn, Sheridan H., Rita S., Greg, Shirley W., Tane and Kelly, Captain Florida and Diane, Lorena, Judy Love and her family, Sue, Jamie, Brad, Lori and Ben, Tobias and Bettina, Michael Watkins and baby Jaden, and the people and the wildlife of Jasper, Alberta, and Golden, British Columbia, and Jerry W. If there is another person in our community to whom we can offer light and love, please put their name in the chat, and I will add them to the list in the clubhouse and on Facebook. And for the people who aren't named, but who are in our thoughts, we send them light and love as well.
Thank you, Maria. We're going to take a moment to have a minute of, as soon as I can find the screen that has everybody on it again. This might take a moment. Please hold. All right, I have really screwed this up.
Good job.
There we go.
A
Let's
plus
take a
for
minute.
you.
Let's take a minute of time. Starting now.
Oh.
Well, thank you all for that minute. And let me come back to my main screen. There I am. I saw, go ahead, Greg. I see your hands up.
I just wanted to share something with all of you. I feel that whether it's providential or what, when a person's name comes into your life, into your thoughts. I kept track with an individual that I went to grade school with, and we kept in touch with each other all the way through life. And I wanted to talk to him before going to surgery to let him know about that. And I'm glad I did, because when I was in the hospital, he in turn was taken to the hospital because of cancer, and he died before I had a chance to tell him that my surgery was successful. And this has happened a number of times that an individual died, and I'm glad that I had a chance to talk with them before it happened. So I use that as a norm whenever I get the feeling to call somebody or write somebody. I do it with the hope that I will get through to them should they pass on.
Thank you, Greg.
Amen.
I'm going to encourage all of us. Is there a name? Is there somebody whose name popped into your head while Greg was talking of somebody you thought, oh, I could get in touch with that person? Make a note. And then do that. And then next week, tell us how that went. Or don't. I saw Lori. Did anyone keep track of Lori? The Religion Outside the Box intern? I saw Lori had joined, but then I lost Lori. Anybody?
I don't see her anymore either.
Okay.
I don't.
That's cool. Well, that kind of messes a little bit with my plan. Okay.
Best laid plans.
Yeah. Oh, I do wonder, Jeff, what kind of plans the mice are making. And how often those plans go astray. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, really.
No, I just wanted to reaffirm that it takes real talent to screw something up. So that anybody can just make it work just the way it's supposed to, but it takes real talent to screw something up.
I'm going to take that as with unconditional positive regard and say thank you, Bob. All right, gang. I have a... Oh, here we go. I have some announcements to make. I forgot to make this announcement the last few weeks. You know what this one says. What's it say?
It's okay not to be okay.
Right? It's okay not to be okay.
Yes.
It's okay not to get 5 stars. It's okay not to be okay. Here's some announcements beyond that. There is a contact list. Maria, I forgot to ask. Alex, I forgot to ask if you could put a link to that. If you want to get in touch with people who come to this service in between services and you're willing to give your phone number, there's a list of people who are willing to give their phone number and their email so that you can reach out to them. So any chance that can make it into our comments on Facebook? Yes?
It did. Both Alex and I got it in there.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Rabbi, I just messaged Lori, and she said there is city construction going on, and her internet keeps glitching. That's why she's
Here's
not-
the composition, go shorter.
Okay. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for doing that. So that's my intern report. Oh, quick announcement. James, our friend who's in penitentiary in Pelican Bay, California, he sent me in a note and he said, please say hi to the Saturday group. So this is a hello from James to all of you in the Saturday group. James keeps up with the 77% weekly, and then I text with him. If you would like to text with James, please find me, send me an email or a text, and I would be glad to help you to get in touch. I know there are a number of people who either write letters or correspond with James, and it's buoying a man who is in a very difficult place. Those are all of my announcements. Okay, let me ask you a question as we have 5 minutes left. If you, this is just hypothetical. Let's just play a thought experiment game. If you were to, I don't know, let's say send out a 2 bullet point summary or 2 points that came up during this service. Let's say you were going to compile an email and send it out to 3,000 people as soon as this service was over. What would be one of the things that you would put in that? What's a quote or a thought that came from today that you think everybody should know? Oh, is this me trying to do a Tom Sawyer of, hey, it's really fun to paint a fence? Yes, it is.
Okay. Everyone gets an A.
Everyone gets an A. Thank you, Ron. It can also just be whatever it is you're taking today as the moral of the lesson, the moral of the story. What does somebody else have? What are you taking? What's the moral of the story today?
Send love to someone you haven't spoken to in a while.
Thank you.
I like the 4-star lifestyle.
4-star lifestyle.
Yeah. Forgive yourself for not
Yeah.
100%.
Anything else come to mind? I want to do a little shout out to Vanessa, who I see, whose son's last week when we broadcast from LA. That was because I did Joey, her son's bar mitzvah last week there. And so thank you for joining us, Vanessa.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
You would have been my shout out for gratitude. Thanks for being you. Wait, I'm holding my phone, so I may have happened.
You're doing just fine.
And my takeaway would probably be that you don't always have to be at 100%, that just 5% better is enough.
That's a nice one. 5% better is enough.
Yeah.
Joey's teacher last year started him with an A, and I tell you, Rabbi Brian, it motivated more than I knew it would.
Yeah, right?
Keeping an A feels easier than attaining one.
Yeah, and then keeping the A. It's wonderful. Good job, teacher. All right, I'm going to wrap up our video call here. So I don't know if I can get everyone on the screen anymore. I think I really screwed that up. Oh, there's everybody. I did. I got it. Number 6 now. Whatever. Camera 6 is everybody. Everyone wave goodbye to the people on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. Thank you all for joining.